Welcome to the Glow Show. I'm your host, Janelle Marie Carter, and today's episode is extra special. We're here to shine a light not only on an inspiring event that's happening right here in our community, the very first Glow Girl event that's going to be at Seneca High School on March 5th. But I also have with me my very dear friend, Dr. Dan Stecken. Dan is a superintendent of Seneca High School, which is my old stomping grounds, and I'm a 1996 graduate. But he's also so many more things. He's the author of Stress Leaders Stay in the Game and the founder of one of my very favorite events, this nationally growing Stress Leaders Summit. He's a sought after keynote speaker, a leadership coach. He's a dad and a husband and all kinds of amazing things. And I'm so excited that we have him here with us today. So, hi, Dan. How are you?
I am great, and it's always great to see your smiling face.
Same. I know we've been all over, running all over the country in different directions, and when we get to connect for a minute, it's just awesome. So
That is very nice, yes.
we have done so much together in such a short time. And I'm so excited about everything we've got going on together and even just separately. So tell us what you're up to these days. Let's start off just that way and kick us off and let us know all the great things that
Yeah,
you've got going on.
yeah, sometimes that plate feels pretty full, but I enjoy a full plate and I enjoy eating, so we've got a lot going on. I think the most important thing in my life is my family. My wife is a nursing director at Morris Hospital and just doing great things with her career too. She's now the president of IONL. That's something with the Organization of Nurse Leaders. And, she's a director at Morris Hospital, and my kids are doing great. My daughter's headed off to Alabama next year for college. And, it's so great that our paths did cross a couple years ago because years ago I kind of joked today that I'm a recovering head coach. I was a head softball coach at Seneca for 14 years and coached travel softball for almost 20. And just have always been inspired by young women leaders. And being a girl dad, it's a special place in my heart to see women grow in leadership capacity and just grow in their own personal lives too. So last year we brought Janelle to Seneca High School at a little coffee shop in Seneca at Refuge to kind of talk about things happening there. And then you spoke to our students at Seneca High School. And I said, that is the woman that needs to be performing at Stress Leaders. And you poured into 40 different leaders last summer and just left everybody inspired with your message of positive self-talk and truly your brand glow. And I cannot wait to see the event that my female admin team members and our young ladies at Seneca High School are putting together. We now have 10 schools signed up, over 150 kids coming to Seneca High School in just a couple weeks. And I can't wait to hear you pour into them. I'm going to be a silent observer in the background. I just can't wait to see these things happen at Seneca High School. We do school differently here, and I'm very proud to be a key part of that. And I just can't wait to see it happen. And
Yeah.
it's related to my superintendent job, but then it's also a part of what I've just seen in the industry in my time as a leader. I've been at Seneca High School for 21 years now, and the last 6 as superintendent and 10 as a administrator. And I feel like our district is Mars. It's a foreign planet. It's special. And I get tired of hearing about the attacks on my colleagues and friends. And it can be a dehumanizing position. You've got a bullseye on your back. Sadly, some people don't have a lot of grace anymore for things that they either don't agree with or maybe don't even understand. And I feel blessed that I've been able to avoid a lot of that, but I do get pretty frustrated when good friends of mine and good leaders come into those crosshairs. And so Stress Leaders was built two capacities. Number one, I was a stress leader. I needed to find ways to control my own stress, and it's still an ongoing journey. But then number two, I just got frustrated and tired of good people leaving the education industry because of a variety of reasons. But Stress Leaders now going into year 3. It's going to be an amazing event again this summer at Star of Rock, and we're taking it national to Indy. and I just
Yes,
can't wait to
that's
see what
so
happens with it.
exciting.
Yeah, it's, what started as just a passion project has become so much more that I'm really proud to have people in our corner like you. And, while my wife and I created it, it's something that all of our speakers are a part of, and it's just a great event that I love being a part of too.
Well, and I think when you have the pillars behind it, like you have, you've been through this, you've watched it, you've seen with your own eyes and have been experiencing all these things. When you build something that is that authentic, that is that grounded in all of the things that you know how to bring and what we need and what stress leaders need, it's a win-win. I mean, and watching that grow has just and being part of it has just been it's really been incredible, and it's changed so much for me personally, not only just being able to share my story and my visions and my inspiration, but to get back, the take back that you bring with everybody that's there. Last year, we were there, my husband was there, and he did the cold plunge, and I mean, never in a million years did I think he would ever do something like this. Guy's afraid of water, and just watching even like something as small as that, people in a safe space taking chances to grow, incredible. Just incredible.
I think you just said it best there. There's this sort of like feeling or environment in leadership that you can't let your guard down. You can't take off this cloak of armor, that you can't be vulnerable because you got to have all the answers, and you got to be the thickest skin, the toughest guy, the broadest shoulders. And it's so weak, I think. I've had people say to me, "Wow, your writing is so vulnerable and so authentic." And some people have said to me it's almost too authentic. And I said, that's okay if you feel that way. I Stress leaders is not for everybody. I perfectly understand and accept that. But if it helps other leaders stay in the game and find
Yes.
real strategies to improve and grow, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I've always done. 22 years ago, when I was a rookie teacher and rookie head coach, I got into this to help other people. And now, here, decades later, that's the same thing I'm trying to do, just in a different world and a different lens. And
Yeah.
I love it. It's become so fulfilling for me. And I
Mhm.
just love seeing people succeed and thrive and continue to grow. And I'm trying to do the same thing myself. I'm not stopping either.
Sure.
So I'm
Right.
glad that Terry loved it. And I can't wait to do it all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us when and how do people get involved and get signed up for this because they want to jump on it because it's growing and it's filling up quickly. So
Yeah,
tell us
so
how to do
we've
that.
got our 2 events in June of 2026 out at Starved Rock in Indianapolis. The We do it on a Monday night, Tuesday all day event so that it's got kind of that unique, togetherness with it. We have education leaders, we have healthcare leaders, we have small business owners, entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, all immersed into what is the reality of leadership is it's messy, and we don't have all the answers. And, I guess the best way to tell people is you got to be there to see it, but it's just an amazing event. It's what I brand as the anti-conference conference. It's not a
Yeah.
sit and get. You're active, you're learning, you're
No.
talking, you're moving, and you're just building your network. And we have a great website, www.stressleaders.com. You can sign up right on that page. We have multiple options available. We have 1 day, 2 day events. We have overnight accommodations for people that want to stay right on site. We've got optional events like a sunrise trail run. Not everybody's a runner, but we've got a lot of fun stuff in store. So it's June 15th and 16th in Starve Rock, and June 22nd and 23rd in Indianapolis.
Great. And we'll
Bestleaders.com.
link all that so it's very easy for people to, just click on there. And I thought of something when we were talking. When you're a leader, who's leading you? Who's leading you? And you're right, it is messy because we don't have all the answers. And that's why it's so important for all of these leaders to come together so that we can feel like, okay, we're not alone. We've got each other. There is somebody on our team because you're especially like in your position, you have the answers or you're supposed to, right? But that's not always the case. We're always learning and growing. We're human. And so who's leading you? And Stress Leaders is like, that is your place where you can find everybody who's kind of wandering in their own world, figuring it out and coming together and be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
alone in this.
It's well said, Janelle. I'm very blessed. My district is amazing. I love it here. My whole career, half my life has been in this place, in this little town of Seneca, at Seneca High School. I definitely know how blessed I am. But at the same time, there's nobody in my district that does my job. There's
Right.
nobody that knows the phone calls, the emails, the social media things, the management of adults, and then there's the kids, right? There's nobody that knows
Yeah.
all those things that I try to manage,
Sure.
and a lot of times my position can be very isolating, especially in a small district where you just don't have those people to lean on. That's stress leaders. You said it yourself. You don't have to go through this alone. You can build a network outside of your normal capacity. And I get just as much out of this as a participant that I do as a leader.
100%. I'm sure, we continue to just grow from each other. You're talking about Seneca and what a great, well, I mean, I was a Seneca graduate, so you know how much I just love Seneca, but it is a very special place, Seneca High School is. And let's roll into March 5th because that's coming up, the Glow Girl event on March 5th that, we said 140, 150 students, 10 different schools. That's so incredible. And let's just talk a little bit about what the idea was behind that. You're a girl dad, you've coached women and all these things all these years. The conversations you and I have had knowing there's a need for just leadership and watching these young women that are coming up into this high school. It's incredible to me. Your daughter especially, just these leaders that we're watching emerge. And March 5th is going to be all about continuing to help guide them so that we can just keep creating these leaders that keep getting pushed out. And tell me a little bit about how that kind of came together. It was kind of
Yeah.
divine, but
So there's an old expression in education that as you rise up the ranks, the further you get away from the classroom, the less impact you have on kids. And as I rose the ranks, I can definitely see that. So when I became superintendent, I created a superintendent student advisory group. So our teachers recommend, 6 to 8 freshmen every year, and they go through a 4-year cycle with me, and we meet once a month, every month, and we talk about the great things that are happening, the things that could be improved. And I really use it as a platform just for student voice. Our women's leadership, I would love to tell you that I was the brainchild behind it. I'm not. It came from our kids and it came from people like my daughter. And that's something that I'm really proud of. I mean, it's something that my daughter has the best of my wife and the worst of me in her. And I see it every single day, but she's got a work ethic that I'm so proud of. I mean, she's a grinder and she is somebody that recognizes the value of being a leader as a young woman. She lives in a house with a superintendent and a nursing director. She knows the pains of leadership
he
and
knows.
she wants to follow
Sure.
in the footsteps. I mean, she wants to do something like my wife does. And that makes me so proud, number one, of her and my wife. But
Yeah.
this came out of our student group and watching it grow from a small little controlled environment of Seneca kids into now an amazing venue, an event that's going to have you as the keynote and then breakout sessions with other female leaders. I just can't wait to see that. And there's so many intimate parts of it that I'm also excited about. One of our breakouts is Sarah Olson, who's our vice president of our board of education. Two, one of the breakouts is Lida Widmeyer, who's a former player of mine and a kid that I view like another daughter. And then three, my wife is going to speak about career skills and the challenges of being a women's manager. So I just can't wait to see all those things come together. We're featuring a female owned business, Refuge Coffee Shop at it.
Yes.
I mean, it's just going to be an epic event. And
I
I'm just so
agree.
proud
Yeah.
that it came from students, though. It came from student voice, and it's very simplistic, and some people in education might say, "Yeah, you can't say that," but I always say, if we can do something good for kids, why would we not do it? And then a second kind of guiding voice of mine is it's unique because I live here and I work here and my kids go here. I want the opportunities for every kid at Seneca High School that I would want for my own children. That's being a dad. But I always said when I was a teacher, if I taught every class like my kid was sitting in the front row, I would teach my rear off. And
Mhm.
that's kind of how I try to lead. And some people might roll their eyes at it. They might say, "Oh yeah, sure." But that honestly, those two guiding lights are kind of how I try to do everything at Seneca for our kids, and for what I would want as a dad for my kids.
Yes. And you said it. First of all, what a powerhouse lineup we got put together here.
Yeah,
That's gonna be really incredible. When we first met, we said we need to do something together. We're not exactly sure what it is. We know it's gonna be something. It's gonna be big. We know it. Let's just let it kind of grow. And here we are, Glow events that I host have been part of my heart for so long. And I remember after the first Glow event, I had a few parents come to me and say, "Gosh, do you ever do this for young women?" And I thought, God, that's a great idea. I love the idea of that. How does that work? How are we going to do it? I have to kind of think of it. And then it just was in such alignment with your vision, my vision, and Glow Girl, here we go, was born. And so,
love it.
so excited. I know that this year, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, are we full? Registration ends tomorrow. Are
We've
we
got room for some more, but we've got a pretty
we've
big
got
event
okay.
going.
Yeah. So if you can still get your school in this year, great. If not, we're gonna keep building this and
Yep,
definitely pay attention to what we have going on here at Seneca High School. And stress leaders, this summit, there's definitely time to get into this. And I'm telling you, you want to be part of this.
yeah. I think for anybody out there, and we have everything from teachers to nurses to CPAs to investment planners to firemen to it really is for everything because everybody's a leader. I get a little frustrated when someone says something like, "I'm just a teacher," though. Never lower your standard to what you think somebody else needs to hear about you or justify your when you're a teacher, you're a leader of 25
Yeah.
kids every hour.
Yeah.
So I welcome anybody to it because we're all leaders. And honestly, the hardest job that I've ever had is being a parent and being a leader, and that is demanding, and I manage to screw it up every single day. But there's so many great takeaways from that event that you can apply to your professional life, to your personal space, to your being a dad and a husband and or a wife, a mother, that I think anybody you talk to, and I've got some referrals on our website that you can see at stressleaders.com. Everybody that attends this event gets something epic out of it, no matter what your capacity or your role or your own definition is. I mean, I
Yeah.
when you did your presentation, your keynote on self-talk, my wife and I still talk about that almost a year later, that you had executive leaders who were putting on their phones the way they talk to themselves and reading that on a screen. My wife still talks about that. She said, "I can't believe that these people who are top of their food chain talk to
Mhm.
themselves like this."
It's
We still
really
talk about that
powerful
at
to
home.
see. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really powerful to see. And, even if you don't know why you want to come, if you're feeling, like, intrigued and pulled in and you're just you might not know why until you get there. And when you
Yeah,
walk
that's
away,
well
you're gonna
said.
go, That's really why I came." So, let down that guard and give yourself this gift and this time for a few days, and you won't be sorry. So, I'm going to close out just with thanking you for everything you've done in my life and in everybody around our community and beyond. For anybody who's listening, I encourage you to get involved with Glow Girl, with Stress Leaders in any way, shape, or form that you can. Get involved with Dan Stecken. He is an awesome person to have in your corner. And I just want to thank you. Together, I think we can really continue to shine a light for our future leaders and our current leaders, and I'm grateful to know you. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy day. And can't wait to see all the things that you have coming up.
Yeah, well, Janelle, the gratitude is entirely on this side of the screen. Lucky to have you in my life as well, and lucky to learn from people like you. As an educator, I'm always growing, and I'm always writing and sharing my thoughts on my Substack and future books that I've got coming out. It's just a way to continue to try to lead your life for bettering others. And when you can pour into your own cup, but then also pour into other people's with gratitude, it's hard not to smile when you're giving gratitude.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And yeah, I'm excited for everybody. Can't wait for March 5th. Can't wait for the summer. And thank you again. I'm going to let you get back to your very busy day. I know you've got a full schedule today, but thank you so much for being a guest today on the Glow Show. And I'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you for having me on the Glow Show. It was epic.
Take care. We'll see you.